At 3:30 in the morning my neighbors called me. They told me everything is destroyed. There was no light. My brother and I got together and came here. And here everything was destroyed. Everything was knocked out. The roof was blown off. Everything in the house was sprinkled. Everything was broken.
These are the consequences of one of the latest Russian missile attacks on the Dnipropetrovsk region. On February the 16th, a Ha-22 missile hit the private sector of Pavlograd, in the place where there was a garden, now a funnel 8 meters deep. More than 60 houses were damaged, 10 are completely destroyed.
There was a terrible explosion. The first thing a mother thinks about is her children. I'm talking the kids right away. The son replies, "Mom, there is no home now, but we're all alive." Nothing more was needed.
To successfully resist such missile attacks, Ukraine needs not only modern air defense systems, but also fighter jets.
Any kind of help is necessary for Ukraine because Ukraine has to win this war. So we had many questions, should we send tanks? Now this decision is made. So we had prior to that many questions, how many ammunition we could send. So always there has been a question before and then the answer after that. So and we know that Ukraine needs any kind of help, and that means also the jet fighters.
Former commander of US forces in Europe, Ben Hodges, told Deutsche Welle that Ukraine needs to receive fighter jets and medium-range missiles as soon as possible. Thanks to them, the Ukrainian military will be able to first attack the supply lines of the Russian army between the front and the Ukrainian coast of the Sea of Azov, and after the successful liberation of these territories, to strike at the Crimean Bridge between Russia and the annexed Crimea. In this case, Crimea will be cut off from Russian supplies.
We're starting to train Ukrainian pilots on both NATO standard aircraft, but also in tactics. I think that's important. And that when we talk about the long-term way to increase Ukraine's security, that's what we've started doing, and I think others will follow.
Thanks to the efforts of the United Kingdom, the taboo on the supply of F-15 and F-16 class fighter jets to Ukraine has now been lifted. At the same time, more familiar aircraft, including those upgraded to NATO standards, the Polish MiG-29, may also be provided to Ukraine. It will take Ukrainian pilots only a few days to master them.
This war could take a long time. And in that time, the Ukrainian armed forces have to transition, because they were using a lot of Russian capabilities, like the tanks, but also the MiGs. And they have to transition to European, American and other capabilities. And in that transition, I completely understand that they also want to transition in their air defense and also with the fighter jets. I think that has to be part of the consideration that we're going through now.
An aircraft coalition is already gradually beginning to form in the world. Poland and the Netherlands have been talking about the possibility of delivering NATO F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine for several weeks now. French President Emmanuel Macron did not rule out the supply of French Rafale combat aircraft to Ukraine in January.
The first thing is to protect our air from airborne terrorism, which cruise missiles as well as kamikaze drones. Fighters that are multi-purpose can provide this protection, and to work together with the air defense systems that we already have and the promising ones that our partners will transfer to us.
The Ukrainian Air Force assures our pilots will fly Western combat aircraft in 6 months. Ground preparations have already begun. Reported by Pavel Stelmach, Natalia Husak, UATV News.